People. Today is a little different. I was having a conversation with a friend, and I realized that everybody is $10 per hour behind. For real. It's going to get worse. And what I mean by that is, well, let's just get into it. Why you're poor while you're working all these hours. Before I get into this, let me explain how I used to think. I used to think that the more that I worked, the more hours that I put in, the more money that I made. I actually made less money, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Once my relationship with money, time, and value changed, I began to get out the matrix. I began to make moves that I want to share with you guys. So let's go to the handy iPad. And this. All right, there we go. Make sure that we are good. So in 1990, I was still in the military, but I had a part-time job. I was making $10 per hour. All right. So that $10 per hour that I was making in 1990, you now have to make $19.28 to have similar spending power. And I say similar because it's not the exact same spending power. And this is why taxes are higher. So therefore, because let's go back to 1990. You didn't have as many taxes. You didn't have as many fees. So your dollar, so really outside of inflation and with higher taxes, you are about $23 behind. Let's go ahead and say you're about 15. Let's just put 5 on there for taxes. So you're about $15 behind. So the same $10 I made in 1990, you need to make $25 today to have similar spending power. Now, $25 an hour is 50 G's a year, I think. Let me check my math on that. 25 times 160 times 12 is 48,000 a year, almost 50. So if you get paid on those bilateral things, it might be 50 a little over time. So you need to make 48 grand. Now this was a part-time job. Now 10 times 160. Wow, that's only 1,600 times 12. Let me do this again. That didn't come out right. 10 times 160. Yeah. All right. So in 1990, at $10 an hour, you would make $19,020. You need almost $50,000 to have similar spending power that you had in 1990, making $10 an hour. And we'll go back to 1985. I had a friend named Steve Green. His father was a coal miner in Alabama. And I remember Steve said his father made $10.50 per hour working in the mine, and he got overtime. So Steve Green's father was able to work in the mine at $10.50 an hour. Steve's mom stayed home. Steve played football. Steve went to all these camps based upon the based upon a one salary at $10.50 an hour, and this was 1985. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's go back to 1985 and see. All right. And go ahead and add another 5 to that. So just 5 years. But you would have had to make $30 an hour today to have similar spending power. And what's $30 an hour? 30 times 160. All right. 30 times 160. All right, my calculator is one to give y'all way more money. There we go. That's $4,800 a month times 12. It's almost $60K a year. So to have, hold on a second. Man, I have all kinds of congestion coming up. So to make the same money that you made in 1985 today, you'd be at $30 an hour. To have the same or similar spending power. And this is funny. This didn't start until I started doing this stream. But we will continue to go on. Now, what does this mean? Well, we were talking about how we have this low unemployment. We have these really good economic times for certain people, but we do not have an increase in wages. That doesn't make sense because in 1990, I remember places giving cash bonuses to teenagers to get them in the door because they needed bodies. So wages increased in a time of economic prosperity because they needed people in there. So they had bonuses, they had spiffs. Pizza delivery guys were making more money back then than they do today. Because what many people don't do is take inflation and taxes into account. And also, I was making $10.50 an hour in 1990 at a part-time job. $10.50 an hour. You have many people who are making $10.50 to $15 an hour today. And let's go ahead and see what $15. Let's go ahead and bring this to 1990. And we'll add a 5 to this. And then add taxes, add another $5 to that. So you would need to be at $33 per hour to have similar spending power. Now, this is something else that's going on. We have low unemployment because one, there's a lot of people who just gave up. Number two, they're counting part-time jobs. They didn't count part-time jobs way back when. Now, this is the big monkey wrench. You have Uber. Let's go ahead and I'm going to actually show you this because this is another reason that you are way behind, even though it sounds like you're making the same money. All right. So Uber market cap. What is that going to be? So Uber is worth $51 billion. And they have about 10,000 employees, right? $51 billion. All right. So let's go to Delta market cap. And we're going to, let's see. All right. I don't want to see their stock price. Here we go. This is what I want. How much is Delta worth in billions? All right, cool. Now, Delta is worth they just will not. All right. No, that's not what it's real interesting how that this is so hard to find all of a sudden. But we're going to get there. How much is Delta stock worth in billions? This is where we're going to go. All right. It's not giving me. This is okay. Here we go. So Delta's worth 37.51 billion. Uber's worth 51 billion. I'm going to tell you why Uber's actually worth more than that. So you go to Delta. Delta has 80,000 employees. Uber has 10,000 employees. And hold on a second. Because I didn't know I was going to do this, but hold on one second. Let me go ahead and fire this up. Because you guys cannot see what I am talking about. That is really strange how this stuff is making everything like super, super small. But stay with me. I'm going somewhere. We will get there. Okay. There we go. All right. So once again, Delta stock's worth 37.150. Let's say 38 billion. Let's give them 38 billion. They have over 80,000 employees. Uber has 51 billion net worth market cap, and they only have 10,000 employees. So Uber is worth twice as much, and they have 1/10 the number of payroll. I want you to really, really think about this. Delta almost has 10 times as many employees as Uber. Also, Uber doesn't have the hard cost of machinery, and they don't have this. So Uber, compared to Delta, is probably worth about 75 billion if you were looking at it that way. Now, what does this mean? Technology. Uber, Apple, Facebook, many of these tech companies with these Amazon. Let's see. You know what? Let's do this real quick. Amazon. Actually, I didn't need to go in there. How many employees does? Whoa. Amazon has 563. They got 500,000 plus employees. I did not know that. But let's see. Amazon's market cap. They're worth 879 billion. Let's just go ahead and say 900 billion. They'll probably, after a few corrections in the market, probably in the next 2 or 3 years, they'll be the next $1 trillion company. So if we were to parse this down, trying to look at it. Yeah, I mean, okay. Delta has 80,000 employees, right? But Amazon is worth, Jesus. Let me do the math on this. Divided by 25. Amazon's worth 36 times more than Delta, and they have, let's say, 7 times as many employees. So 36 times more, worth more than Delta, but they only have 6 times more employees. So that even still works for, Amazon. Now, why am I going through all this and belaboring this point? You're not going to get ahead with a job. It's just not. Because regardless of how hard you work, regardless of how many hours you put in, unless you have an extremely high paying job, like when I had my boy Ty and we were talking about contractors and this husband and wife couple, they're making like $115 a piece. So they made $230,000, like 2006. Yeah. Okay. You can make some moves there, but whoa. Between them, they were in the top 1%. They were in the top 0.9% of wealthiest people in the world. So this is one of the things that happens. You got people who are trying to get ahead, trying to make ends meet, working their asses off, and they're experiencing diminishing returns due to inflation and taxation. It's a losing game. So let's see. We got some people in here. I'm going to get to the chat. It is very much a losing game. And when I got out the Matrix, that's when things began to change. Now, I'm not just saying this because I've been beating this drum most of the year. I've been beating this drum. I've been talking about recession. Now we're going to talk about why you're $10, $10 to $15 behind from jump. Before you earn your first dollar, you're already behind. There's only one way that you're going to get past that situation. So let me get into the comments, see what people are having to say. What's up, Be Real, Josh Barr? Mo Grizzly, I addressed that instantly. I addressed that instantly. I said similar spending power. I didn't say exact spending power, and I added the $5 to it. Louis the Seller. I remember back in the day, my mom went food shopping and came back with at least 7 bags of groceries and spent $100. Today, I come back with just 2. Yes, that's inflation. The things that you need cost more. Meat, milk, gas. Premium is almost $4 a gallon now. It's then crept up back to that. But what they did this time is they raised prices gradually, so folks didn't freak out like we did last time. What's up, Lamode? Actually, JR, I am fasting, and this is why all this stuff is coming out. So you're actually right. Gaji, that's funny. Since reality, we have this low unemployment, but the Trump administration and the Northern advisors fact-checking and misled America on poverty. Such BS economic trickery coming from this administration. Wait until the economy crashes and see. They're gonna blame. They're gonna blame Obama. They're gonna blame Obama. I'm telling you. Health is wealth. JCH, my dad used to tell a story about how my grandfather could take him and my aunt to the store with only $1 and buy everyone a soda, a candy bar, a bag of chips, and have money left over. Absolutely. I remember when you got 5 pieces of candy for a penny. Let me say this again. I don't know if this still is a thing, but when I was a kid, I used to find money all of the time. People used to lose cash money. And I remember I was walking because my brother and I, we used to have to take clothes to the laundromat. So it was a Sunday that he was sick, so I had to do the laundry. So on my second trip, I see $1 sticking up out of some dirt. So I go there, pick it up, and I pull on it, and under this dollar, there's some more dollars. I had $23. I'm looking around. Nobody claiming it. Do you know that money lasted me for 3 months as a child? Because I could literally go to the store and spend $1.50 and come out with some honey buns. How many of y'all remember Orange Age? Orange Age used to come in like a milk carton. Orange Age, honey buns, now and laters, Snickers, and play a few games of Centipede for under $2. I was balling out if I spent $5. I bought I bought my friends some stuff like, hey, yeah, you want that Coke? You get that Coke. I got you. You want some chips? You get those chips. How many of y'all find money today? Because I don't think people lose money the way they used to because everybody's using plastic. What's up, Alicia? So JCH, that's real. Men lie, women lie, manipulated numbers lie. Gotcha. Well, I was just wondering because as a kid, I used to always find money. I was very lucky. I mean, finding a quarter or finding like 60 or 75 cents, that was a come up. You could literally go to the store and get significant swag and have money left over. Since reality, when people discuss income, they must take into account inflation, the value of money, CPI, and cost of living. Absolutely, but they don't. They absolutely don't. And I'm going to explain why in a minute. Gotcha. All right. Let's see. What do you mean was that a hustle camp subreddit? I don't understand that question. What's up, Erica? Thanks for the $5 super chat. I love numbers. Yeah, debt plus inflation plus taxes means you feel broker than your parents. I didn't even address the debt. We didn't even got to that. Erica's a little fast. She's smart like that. We even got to the debt. We're just dealing with the fact before you earn your $1, you are $15 behind before you even get it. We ain't even talking about the debt because wait until we get into the debt. That's going to blow your mind. Property Solutions, those tech companies are borrowing money left and right. Uber ain't borrowing money. Apple is sitting on billions in cash. They're going to be all right. Now, these startups, the Facebooks of the world, they may be, but some of these solid companies that sell products and provide services and actually have cash flow, they'll be okay. Good Lord. What's up, Christian? Since reality, I have a friend bragging about the $1,000 tax break Trump has given to the middle class. And I'm like, the 12-month period, that's less than no, it ain't even $19.50 per week. It ain't even $19.50 per week. If you look at the fact that you're $15 behind, it's actually like $4. It's $4. This is why incomes are not going up. Number one, the demand isn't high enough and efficiency is very, very high. This is why so many people this is why Trump was elected. People are suffering. People felt that he was going to be the Pied Piper to lead people to prosperity. Many of these folks bet the farm on this guy because they thought that he was going to help them out. This is why he got elected, because a lot of people are hurting. And they're going to be hurting even worse due to some of his policies. Let's see. Go back. That's funny, Theodore Cousins. I credit. We're making $300 a year, and just still feel like the middle class, depending on where to live, the taxes, what they take from you. Let's do that. Let's do that. I credit 24/7. Let's take it up here, and let's see what you're really making. So you're behind 278 grand. That's why you feel like you. And I know people like, he making $300K a year. What he complaining about? But once again, we struggle to our own levels. But you have lost. Let me just show it up here. You've lost. You lost $278,000. What's up tonight? We hunt. I was relieved to fill my tank at $274 a month. That was a steal. What's up, New Jersey girl? Thanks for the $10 super chat. Actually, I've taken ginger. Well, one of the things I'm doing is this new workout that had me like, it was hard. My back still hurts. I'll be better next week. Well, I'm not really sick. I'm just, stuff's coming out. My sister finally listened to me, helping her sell hair care products. Even barbers and hairdressers realize they got to sell to make more money. That is the key. You got to do more. You got to do way more. Since reality, I remember getting 4 Flaming Hots for 25 cents in the early 2000s. Now it's 50 cents per bag. This is where we are. Jones Way Beauty, what's up? Found a quarter yesterday. Not in a while. No one's losing cash. Erica, I think you looking for money. I think that's where you find it. I see pennies and nickels and quarters all the time. I don't pick them up. Randy, the hamster wheel just got bigger. A lot of good talented people get burnt out going nowhere. That's real. What's up, JC Sanchez? Thank you. Let's see. Louis also remember my father paying $250 rent for our 2-room apartment in the Bronx. I recently Googled the same apartment. They're asking $1,900 for the same apartment. You know, my last apartment cost me $1,100. That's about 8 years ago. The same apartment is $1,900 now. And $1,900 up in New York, more than likely you in the hood or close to it. Mo Grizz, I find it ever so often from drunken tourists. We still a cash city. Joshua Hill, overheard sales managers talk about how their dealership seems to be struggling in sales, but they got a few of their employees leasing Porsches and Audis. You're going about to see some changes in the next 12 to 15 months. Since reality, sadly, a lot of these Trump supporters want to adhere to an old Cole's making a comeback. Cole to an old economic paradigm by just being obedient at their workplace and getting paid full. Yeah, those times are gone. You know the people who did that, the people who had that social contract, who did their 25, 30 years and was on their pension, a lot of those folks are still impacted by the last recession where they're cutting their benefits 30 to 55%. To do this to a person who is late 60s, 70s, or 80s, I mean, if they're in the 80s, they ain't going to get out and hustle. They can't. Unless they're very healthy. And I mean, I want you to think about this. You retired, and for a decade or maybe 2, you were good. Now they're going to take your benefits. This was a social contract. This was a promise. Those folks fulfilled their end of the deal, and they're about to get shafted. You're going to see, You got old folks who are cutting their medications in half to make them last longer. They don't spend money on housing and clothing and stuff. A lot of their money goes toward medication or their grandkids. Thank you, charlatan. Martin Johnson, it is. This helped me lose a lot of weight. It is a good day. David Gora, you have not been listening. I've been talking about this for the last 6 months. I think a recession is going to be in the next 12 to 15 months. George Carlin, that man was a genius in many regards. He really was. All right, so now we go add, you got inflation, so you're losing money before you get it. Taxes. Now, we about to get into, this is about to get ugly. What? Don't tell me it's gone. There it is. All right. So we have, we'll just do it in red. So 10 to 15 bucks behind. Now this is where the game gets dirty. And we're going to go to debt, which is most of it is front loaded. This means most of the interest is at the front of the loan. Take your standard mortgage. Let's say your payment is $1,600 a month. About $1,200 of that is interest. Yeah. And then the other 400 PMI, taxes. So you might actually be applying $80 to the principal. $80. Now, if that's a lot. So you're using this money that you're behind, and then you're paying this, which puts you further behind, because your money is like it's like a penny hoe. Ain't even a $2 hoe. Your money is like a penny hoe. So your money is not working for you at all, because you could be in that house 10 years and have literally $12,000 paid on the principal, 12 to 30. And if your house doesn't go up in value, you lost money. So this is student loan debt. This is car loans. This is mortgages. If you buy a car and you want to pay it off early, you would be better off to put, like, let's say you came into 10K and you put it on that car. You would, that 10K payment on your car, and you would have to do it like this, because they will just take that money and apply it to the interest and then say you don't have to pay us for like a year or two. You have to go ahead and make your monthly payment, and then take the $9,000 whatever and write a check and say this is a principal payment. This is to be applied to the principal. Because a lot of them will gank you if you don't do this and stay vigilant, and then check and like, was that payment? Because I already made my car payment, and this was an extra payment to the principal. Because if you don't do that, they may gank you some more. This is why I went back to, because, leasing can be good. If you have a business, you can write all of that off. But so inflation, taxes, and debt. It's that ITD is why people cannot get ahead. This is crazy. All right, so now we know what the problem is. Whenever you go to your doctor, they have to figure out what the problem is before they can start treatment. So even if you are debt free and you have a job and you live in a state that has no state taxes, you're still behind. I want you to really think about that. You no debt. You got a decent, let's say you make $90,000 a year, right? Okay. So you are $83,000 behind. $83,000 behind. And this is a good situation to be in. No debt and a high income. So this is why, and also wages are not going up, because there is this low unemployment is not true low unemployment, because if it was true low unemployment, wages would go up. You would see people. I mean, I remember as a kid, Burger King was like, hey, $50 hiring bonus. You seen these signs like that outside of the Dakota oil fields? You see, and also with the Dakota oil fields and the fracking, those guys work crazy hours. They may work 20 days on, be off for 10 days. Not conducive to a normal lifestyle or a relationship. So this is the problem. This is why even if you are clean, even if you're clean, you're still in trouble, because your money is not able to work for you because you're behind. Let me go ahead and flip this game, because someone said something. Let's see. Let me hit these comments real quick. I know coal is not making a comeback. If you have a pension, take the lump sum and invest in rental properties. Property Solutions ATL. I know someone. I used to talk about this couple all the time. They're like, God, they're in their 90s. They were two school teachers. And for some reason, they were on she was on her, school teachers. He was in the military. He got disability. So that's why he can come to the clinic. And we used to talk. He was a cool dude. And what they did, they lived on his income, which was not even $30K a year. And they took her income and bought property every year. And they got up to like 10 or 12 properties. Rents went up. Houses started to get paid off. That is their retirement. And together, these folks didn't make 40K. They didn't make 50K a year together. So, to your point, and I'll just keep it real. One of the reasons I'm getting into real estate is, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, is real estate is a way that you can make money, cut your taxes, and hide money in the house. Because let's get into this. Because somebody didn't understand, and this is the difference between people with a money mindset and people who don't have a money mindset. All right. Let's say you have a second house. Actually, we won't have to do red here. We're gonna just y'all gonna see my killer artistic skills. So this is your PR, your principal residence. Then you have a condo. We're just going to put this in a high rise. You used to live in the condo. So your principal residence mortgage is $1,800. The mortgage in the condo, since you bought it such a long time ago, is $680. But the rent is about $1,600. So you're cash flowing at $900 a month. That one situation, this is just you and the one principal resident and one condo, $900 a month means you are now paying $900 on your mortgage. Big difference. Now, you say you marry someone who had a house, she had a condo, she was in the high rise. That's how y'all got together. Y'all at that pool party. You saw that ass, you saw those titties. She's like, I gotta have it. She had a condo. She didn't buy as early as you did, so she's paying $800 and renting it out at the same $1,600. So cash flowing at $800. You almost living rent free. This is making your money work for you. Now, welcome. Well, let's get into my world. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to do it and talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it before I do it. But let's say you have. We're going to do this. Got a little fountain up in here. You up in here with like a castle and stuff. You got the circular driveway. So your mortgage is $4,000 a month. And then let's say this property is $900,000. Then you improve it. Because, see, one of the reasons I'm getting into the high-end market is, believe it or not, it's not as fragile as the low-end market. So stay in this 2 to 4 years. And then add about $200,000 in value. So that brings this property up to 1.2. But the thing is, we don't sell it. Once again, there's some things I'm going to do, and I'll talk about it as I do them. We keep this. And then we move up into the 2.2 million, because this property is cash flowing at like say probably 6,500. So it's cash flowing at 2,500, which will defray this mortgage, which is going to be probably 7,000. So that's going to bring the mortgage down to 4,500, which is what was on this, but this is $2.2 million. 10 years, this is going to be almost a $3 million house. So that's going to be like $750,000 in equity. And this is going to probably be a 1.6. So that's going to be $800,000 in equity. That's the game that I'm going to start playing, because my good buddy John, Mr. Vasectomy, he got me hip to it. And keep these will not be flips and all this other stuff, because I need a place to park money and defray taxes. This is why I'm not going to do a course or anything on it. I'll talk about it as I do it, because most folks can't play this game. Not yet. Not yet. Let's see. All right. Let's see. I'm just trying to find out where we are. David, and I work for a Fortune 500 tech company and make 3 to 4 times minimum wage and still feel the squeeze in California. That's because your dollars, you were $15, you were $10 to $15 behind every dollar before you get it. Superstar Customs. Once again, we don't want to pay down the mortgage, but we'll talk about that later. They are counting temporary employment. I actually reported that. That blew my mind. I'm dedicating the profits of one of my online businesses to pay off a credit card, and I should have never gotten in the first place. Then I'd be debt free. Hey, man, we all been there. Martin Johnson, because the pension funds are in trouble and they can't pay it. It ain't like they don't want to pay it. They can't. Wayne Johnson, what do you think about the tariff war? You know how the recession was doing about 40 miles an hour? It was about to come at 40 miles an hour. Well, now it's about 100 miles an hour. That's what I think of the tariffs. What's up, Romero? Thank you, Steve Wilson. True Journal. Awesome. Be real. Be real. I wouldn't buy a condo because of the HOA could eat into your ROI. Possibly there's a way to get around that. What's up, Anthony Johnson? People making deals. Pretty much CCWMS. There you go. Be real. Well, no, this is one of the things that I have to do. Because I would have, like, all right, I don't take a lot of money out of the business, but what's going to happen is I got to put money somewhere and I got to park it where it can grow. I don't care if it grows slow, as long as it grows, and also defray my taxes. I have no choice. Real estate can help inflation, but as I talked about in the stream, each percentage point that the mortgage rate goes up, X amount of borrowers no longer qualify for a mortgage. So that doesn't really help the economy. And if the economy starts to tank, then that's going to drag down the price of real estate. Unless you're in California or some weird place like that, or New York, it may not do that. So no, Joshua Hill, I don't think it was. I mean, you got to understand, for you to leave the United States of America, I have lived in the foreign country before, and I couldn't wait to bring my ass back here. It's exotic. It's fun. The first few months is cool, but after that, you notice that you are in a different land and everyone else is different than you, and that gets lonely as fuck. All right, so what I'm doing, I don't know how many slots are open, but if you didn't know, this is the new program. Matter of fact, I can actually show you. I've been working on this all day because this one I think is a win-win for everybody. All right. So this is what's happening. Hustlers Undergrad. Essentially, this is the only thing you can buy Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills. And there is a 20-month, once again, there is a 20-month payment plan. And what's going to happen, everyone that completes undergrad is enrolled in Disruptive Money Consulting as a graduation present, no cost. In about 20 months, that should be a $10,000 situation. So I'm going to explain to you what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm going to trust you guys because I did it before and I only had 2 people flake. And I was like, that's not bad at all. So, I mean, it wasn't even a full percentage point flake rate. I was like, that's awesome. So what happens is you spend $150, and I will say that I've added no one to it, and I know people are waiting because a lot of people have signed up, but I wanted to make all of these changes before I started adding people, then have to, it's a lot of work. Like I add someone, then I change something, I add something, then I'm just going to do it in one time. So we'll get to, it's everything. I went ahead and I just completely got rid of stuff that wasn't done. All this other stuff. So how to never be broke again, the $25 hustle, everything, the child support course, the LLC courses, and blank. I'm going to explain that in a minute. So you get all of this. Now, what I'm going to do probably once or twice a month is I'm going to do a special, not a live stream, but a webinar or a boot camp. The first one is going to be about credit. because there's some new information out there. So everyone who signs up for Hustler Undergrad, that's the name of it, you will be able, because this is what I'm going to do in this blank space. And before I start adding people, I may add another 2 blank spaces, because essentially once I add you in here and all these things are accounted for, take the blank space, I go ahead and like create a course or something. You already get it, and then I don't have to add everyone back to it, which is just can be a nightmare. So I'm probably going to create another maybe 1 or 2 just in case, but in the blank space is where the webinars are going to go. So the one about credit, and I'll just like, hey, boot, whatever I call it. I haven't even made up a name yet, but all that stuff will go there. So they'll be like once or twice a month. So if you can't make the live event, which will not be a live YouTube stream, it will be a webinar, and only people who are in Hustler Undergrad will be able to come. Like I said, once or twice a month. It'll be a very informative. It'll be, I'm thinking I'm almost, John, he's kind of bending because John doesn't want to be in front of the camera, but he may come on. I'm not making any promises. Then we'll get some other people to come on. But this will be like real-time training for stuff. Like I said, once or twice a month. And I'm going to do gear. So you get all of these courses. And I just put 4,900 in case someone just like got froggy and leaped, versus if I, we'll talk about that. But Facebook group. There will be a Facebook group coming. Let me explain that. I'm not going to start it, and there's going to be like, 50 people in there, because I think we've got 50 slots and 100 left. I'm not doing that. That would just be crazy, because I already have one Facebook group. And by 2019, maybe 300-400 people, because we got, then once we get to a certain number of people, and there'll be this Facebook group, and you'll be able to talk and communicate amongst yourselves, and everybody will be in the program. So you're going to get the Facebook group when there's enough people for it to make sense. I'm not doing it now. It'll be Hustler Undergrad, the life skills and online boot camps. And I didn't put it in there, but I am going to do gear. But I'm not going to do the gear through Teespring. What I want is some really nice, sexy stuff. So that's going to come out. And it's probably the first thing's going to come out is probably next month, because I got one design and I'm going to work on another design, but it's going to be some nice Hustler Undergrad gear. It's probably going to be Every Man is a Millionaire. I got to work with that, but these shirts are going to be very different. They're going to be made. They're not going to be from the regular Teespring thing, because the way that I want them to look, they're going to have to be silk screened. I want them to not have the stuff on top. So there will be gear coming, and that's it. So it's $150 for 20 months. Now, what I think is going to happen is many people are going to get in. They're going to take it serious. They're going to start businesses, and then that $150 a month will be like nothing. Because then, I want you to think about it. Here's a course that you can take, and within a few weeks, a few months, you'll be earning the money to pay for the course if you're doing the work. If you're doing the work. So the link is below for everybody that wants to sign up. And let me see. Let me get into the chat room. All right, because I knew there'd be some questions. Let me go back. Good Lord, there was a lot of stuff that went down. Hold on a second. All right. Gandhi, my friend used to work for a mortgage company. He noticed a lot of refinance requests were declined. They no longer qualify, man. So it's reality. I wonder how old people will survive when more entitlements get cut, such as Medicare, Medicaid. They're going to start forming communities and working together more so out of necessity than choice. You're going to see the Waltons. You're going to see 3 and 4 generations in one house. Mr. Health, can't afford those high-end homes, but renting property in working class immigrant neighborhoods has helped me. I mean, that's the model for a solid real estate portfolio. I mean, Kenyon Meadows, he was actually on O'Shea's channel. Go ahead and Google O'Shea Kenyon Meadows, and he talks about that, because this is one of the things, this is why I got out of real estate. I did not like the clientele. I did not like the bullshit that went with that, because typically those are the people who will be impacted first in this recession. So you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff that goes on with that. But once again, this is why I'm not like creating a course or anything. This is a whole different game, and it's part of my tax strategy. That's one of the reasons I'm doing it, because I don't need to take money out the company to live like I want to live. Not a lot. And I'm just going to invest in property. All right. Erica Williams, men love talking about. Oh. Be real. Glue's a perfect example of how much you have to work to be successful. I think he sleeps at the desk that he's sitting at. No, actually, I'm getting more organized. I'm getting more strategic, and I'm making better moves. So I appreciate that. And I'm also on Digital Money. I'm probably going to do a life of a YouTuber, and I'm just going to film my whole day. I'm kind of scared because it's going to take a lot of work to do that, because I'm not going to be able to do it in one day. That's one of the things. It's going to take me a few days. That's funny. Pretty much, Michael Hubbard. Archangel, real estate always grows over time, even if the economy takes a hit. Pretty much. I mean, that's what I'm looking at, because, you know, John, he's been in my ear. I mean, John's worth like $30 million, and he didn't get that way from his. He has some of the shit he showed me is ridiculous. Oh, man, y'all going off on this. King Knit, will there be a separate? No. There will be the Facebook group. Because what happens is, and I've tried the forums and stuff, like, let's take Disruptive Money, and that's going to be a model for how this Facebook group is going to be. Not Disruptive Mail. I'm in there once or twice a day, and the group literally runs itself. There was a young man, he was 20 years old. He had a situation, and people just chimed in and helped the young brother out. So this is how I'm going to build the Hustler Undergrad. And I may have to just call it Undergrad, because, you know, Facebook didn't like the word hustle. They'll just make your group disappear for like 2 years and bring it back like a ghost ship. It's just gone, and then, oh, here it comes back again. So I'll probably call it Undergrad. And I'm learning how to run a Facebook group effectively, because one, it starts with the people. You get good people in there, because Disruptive Mail, we got a lot of great dudes in there. They're helpful. There's no fighting. There's no bullshit. I just love it. So that's going to be the template, and that's going to come in 2019, because we just don't have enough people. Because what will happen is, if I'll go ahead and put the 50 or 60 people I have in there now, everybody's going to be trying to drain me, because they're going to like, ain't that many people here. Let me ask G a question. I already know, so I ain't doing it. But it will come. Y'all. Oh man, y'all still on this money thing. All right, let's see. Where did we get out of the money conversation? Ben the bartender, Disruptive Clothing. It's gonna be some nice gear. Christian, I don't know yet. I haven't looked. I've been working all day on this. I mean, I worked out this morning. Then I came in and I rewrote some stuff. And before I start putting people in here, I want it to be set. So as more people come in, I just have to add them, send them the welcome email, And I also have to create a welcome video saying, look, this is where you need to start. This is what you need to do. And then arrange that and create, that's why it's taking so long. But I like the direction because this is really going to work well. It's win-win for everybody. You get access to the courses now. You can start using the courses to make money now. Because once again, I'm going to say, hey, let's go ahead and build this community, get a bunch of people in there, and then get people really hustling. Because one of the problems that I've had in the past is I'll get people who will buy the course, but they won't do shit. And then you just can't have conversations with those people because they're just still, it's like they're in love with the idea of having a business versus in love with the process of building a business. So, once we get enough people, get some leaders. Oh, I am going to hire some people as moderator of the groups. Probably Disruptive Mail has like 750 people, 740, something like that. When they get to 1,000, I'm probably going to hire some moderators to put in deliberate content. It's like, look, this is what you're going to do. And then with hustler undergrad, we're just going to call it undergrad because once again, Facebook doesn't like the word hustler. I'm going to hire people to moderate the group. So more than likely, I'm just going to hire the people who are in it. And as the group grow, because, it's going to take me some time. I'm not going to say how many people I'm going to hire, but definitely these will be paid positions. Not a lot of money, just to be clear, but, enough money to justify you coming in and doing some stuff. So I remember one group I did, I had 4 people who were paid, and that worked really nice. And then I want you to think about this. So you go in, and let's say, and this is where the 20 months come in so good, because I have this coaching program that sold out in like 6 hours. That thank y'all, because some of y'all in the chat did that. I'm gonna be working on that. So this gives me 20 months to make this even better than it is now. The vision is I'm going to hire an accountability person. And this is a person who, and this is going to be for the disruptive money. They're going to call you. They're going to check in on you and stuff like that. And what's going to happen is the first group of people who come out, they'll come into that. We'll have the questionnaire. I mean, it's just going to be lovely. It's going to be awesome. And everybody is going to be a winner. Because, I priced it because I was going to do 500 and I said, all right, let's just keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. Most of the people who watch you cannot afford 500. So what are you going to do? Let's take a chance on the people. You took a chance last year. The community responded. Do it again this year. So that's what it is. Like 150. I mean, let's be real. Some of you have cable bills and phone bills that are more than 150 each, and they ain't making you no money. Some of you blow 150 a weekend at the Shake a Booty Club, getting ass dust all up in your drink. So I think that's a good price point for now. So any questions? And the link is below. Actually, this is really good because there was like 150 people watching. Then I started talking about it, and then like 25 like, oh, he's selling something. I gotta go. So I only lost like 27. Thank you. I'm impressed. I mean, y'all are starting to get it. This is encouraging. Are y'all still talking about these women overseas? All right. Everyone is not cut out to be landlords. I'm going to disagree with that. And this is why. Because I always hear that everyone's not cut out to be a business owner. Everyone's not cut out to be a landlord. There are resources out here. You don't have to do this alone. And I think if you think that you got to do it, because once again, after I stopped consulting last year, I took months and wrote up. It's like, how are we going to do it this time? We cannot do it the way we did last time. Last time it almost killed you. How are we going to do it? Accountability person. Then I'm going to hire After the accountability person, I'm going to hire an editor, which is going to be interesting. And then those are the two hires that will probably happen this year. The accountability person and the editor. Customer service person. So that's what's going to go down. But I think everyone has the talent to be a business owner. I think everyone has the talent, quote, to be a landlord. I think that many people are not willing to go through what they need to go through to get there. That's what I think. Because if you fit to eat, you fit to run a business. I want you to go way on back in history when people had to hunt saber-toothed tigers. If they didn't hunt, they didn't eat. There was no, well, let me go down to Kroger. It's on the menu tonight is saber-tooth. And I think that there needs to be a lot of mental adjustments. There needs to be more people who are willing to invest in themselves and willing to take their game up several layers. Because once again, like I broke it down to you in this video, even if you have good credit, no debt, and you make $90,000 a year, you're still behind. Now imagine you have bad credit, you don't make that much money, you got student loan debt, you're fucking buried. There ain't no hustle. You're going to have to hustle your way out. You're not going to work your way out of that situation. It's untenable. You're just not. And this is one of the reasons that, hey, 150. And also, I think what's really going to help are the 2 sessions a month where we'll talk about stuff. Because one of the things I want to do is how to start a car wash business. And these boot camps, they're going to be, since they're for members only, they're going to be like, we start getting into the content immediately. They will not be like the YouTube videos. Be very much like the video today. There's no intro. There's no bumper. We just going to go straight into it. And for those who can't make it, boom, there will be an LLC holding company, because I got like a bunch of them written down, and then that'll probably be worth what you 150 right there easily. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming in there, and the link is below. Once again, it's $150 for 20 months. Once again, it's $150 for 20 months. Once you pay all your payments, once you graduate, then you move into Disruptive Money Consultant. Now, why am I doing that? If you graduate, you should have a side hustle or business already. You should have learned some stuff. You should have been seasoned. You should have made some mistakes. You should be making some money. Now, instead of, you calling me up and like, hey, Glendon, I want to do X, Y, and Z. It'll be like, Glendon, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And what happened here? Well, because you did this response, this is what we could talk about what you're doing versus what you hope to do. Because talking about what you hope to do, that's just it's a rabbit hole. It's just usually good things don't come from that. All right, so let's see what's going on here. All right, hold on. Let me make sure I get all these questions. All right. Property management teams, write off, Diana Orchards. What's up, mentor? I'm currently in Facebook jail. Man, once again, you got to be careful with Facebook. I'm hearing that because I'm not really active on my personal page, except I hate Trump stuff. That seems to be allowed. The Blue Gorilla, the things you teach, can they apply to any business, any hustle? Yes. Well, once again, we're going to be focusing mostly on business. One of the reasons that I've been slimming down is I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm going to do a new channel because I have some different ideas about fitness because last 3 weeks I have weighed the exact same, but my clothes are looser. I think they call it recompositioning, but I've been doing 2 workouts a day, 2 days, it's like 4 workouts a day off, then another 4 workouts, then 2 days off. So we're going to have to talk about that. That's true. That's funny, Jerome. That's really it. I mean, you can do this. All right. I didn't know any of this stuff. None of this stuff. I just learned it along the way. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jerome Carter, man, I've not been putting the cash money in my business, not even knowing I can write off $5K to startup costs. And one of the things that I'm going to do in some of these boot camps, like there's many different ideas, but if I can get an accountant, I'm going to all right, here's a certified CPA, and we can ask them questions and stuff like that. Oh, really, Cody? That's funny. That is hilarious. And that's going to, right now I'm doing this, and probably what I'm going to do is have all that other stuff at Disruptive Mail. Because tomorrow I'm going to do Disruptive Mail. I'll probably do a late stream for this channel tomorrow. What time is it? Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Okay, with that, once again, it is below. It's the first link. You sign up. Then probably tomorrow, well, definitely tomorrow, because I'll have the video, I'll have the blank spots in, I'll have everything set up, and then I'll start adding people in, and you have immediate access to the courses. Man, a lot of people, they just want what they want for free, but they don't respect free. So I'm going to leave with that. Once again, let me see. I don't know. I don't have the count. I will put that out there. Because last night I sent the email out, there was 76 slots. 70, yeah. So I don't know what it is today, but there have been a lot of sales. So I don't really know exactly. But I know it's not full. That I do know. I would say probably 10 or 15 sales came in today, so we're still, well above 50, I would think. Probably well above 60. Yeah, probably 61. So with that, I'll see you guys later. Go ahead, get the course, sign up today. Tomorrow, people will be in. I'll have the welcome video, and I'll have probably some samples of some stuff I want to do. Because one of the things that I've did this year, and I'm very proud of myself, is I did it in a timely fashion. None of this hurry up, get it done stuff where I make mistakes and all kinds of stuff. So this has been a very deliberate effort. And it's going well. It's going well. All right. So once again, it's $150 for 20 months. You're going to get a Facebook group in 2019. You're going to get gear. I haven't put up the designs yet because I'm working on them. And you have immediate access to all of the courses. And then there will be boot camps, like I said, probably twice a month. And you have access to that. I just see this win-win. Good Lord, Tarina, free definitely makes the value invalid. I refuse to give anything away free now. So with that, to Tarina, y'all have a good Saturday afternoon. I will see you guys tomorrow. Go below and enroll in the course.